episode of Dear Miss Kim, our second season. All right, how about some excitement? Woo! Hey, she gonna tell me to be excited earlier, and look at her. I want to see some excitement.
Banking about. Right there.
So everybody, we're gonna be talking about relationships, marriages, traditional, non-traditional. What do you think about it? And hey, I'm gonna tell y'all, I've been married for 31 years. I've experienced so many different things, and I think that the world is just changing. Like, it's totally changing. It's amazing that my son has grown up with me, because I'm not necessarily a traditional woman as far as marriage is concerned. Because I feel like, you should have other people going on in there. Because, yeah.
You don't eat the same meal every day.
Exactly. And my son grew up like that with me. And so he's very traditional, and that was very surprising to me. He wants a woman to be at home, cook, clean, and I just don't agree. Have babies, and I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I just don't. So what y'all think?
I don't know. I've never been married, and so I got to hear more of your opinions, maybe, to develop what I am thinking. I don't know.
I just think that with time, the ideologies of people change, and you only can do and understand or conceive of a idea according to what you've been taught. And so people have been taught one man, one woman tradition, and this is what you do. But men and women look for love all the time, and in those relationships you get aggravated, you're mistreated, and one may grow a little faster mentally than the other one, and it's just a job. Like, everything is a something that you have to work for. And in my life, I don't feel that as an adult, and I'm with another adult, that they not be able to understand my needs and my wants. Like, if you continuously make me talk to you and tell you what I need and what I want, and you don't get me to that point, then that means that you don't need to be with me. So God, why would I continue to fuss and carry on? I know you do it with the children because you want to see them do better, but from one adult to another, and I have to continue. And there are women and men that continuously for years asking you to do better of the same thing for 10 and 20 years. It makes no sense, because everything starts mentally. So because it starts mentally, if someone starts frustrating you, you're going to develop a mental illness, because to me, disease is caused by dis-ease. You're uneasy. So you see people together, they've been together for years, and one is doing better than the other one, and she'll tell you, if you have time to talk to her, I had to go through this, and this man did this. Well, why? It's better to do by yourself. You love yourself, because most people don't just love themselves. So yeah, I don't know. I think tradition should change as far as marriage and relationships. I don't think
that's her take on it. I will have to disagree.
And that would be my daughter.
At first I was like, how do I want to spin this? I think I'm going to go traditional with a mix. But now my mix is a little different. I think that I am here for traditional relationships, marriage, roles. I think when you find your significant other, you guys have to grow together. You have to continuously talk to each other and tell each other what you do like and what you don't. I think, everyone changes with time. And of course, you have to let each other know. And I think that's the part of the love, that's the fun, that's the spice that adds to it, the entertainment with each other. And that's all fun to me, especially when you find that one person that you really want to enjoy that time with. But a person that constantly wants to find something new, I don't think that they are fully aware of themselves. That's just how I take it.
Because is she trying to say her mom is not fully aware of herself?
Well, that it could be some issues that disease that you're dealing with internally. I'm just, that you have to work on, because you have to learn to communicate. That's just it. In a lot of relationships, they don't want to communicate and fix their problems. They're so eager to talking about each other to someone else and finding something new, and then they find the same thing. And they get pissed off with that person. It's a pattern. But if you can't fix the same tradition that you're in, how are you gonna fix it with another relationship? You find the same energy that you're giving out. That's what you're giving. You know what I'm saying? So you have to start with yourself, change yourself first, learn to love yourself, and then you will receive that. You have to teach a person how to treat you. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that, sis.
I do. I've been with my husband for 10 years, and my husband is changing.
He is.
My husband
He
is
definitely
a
is.
great.
I have to give him all A's on that, because I've watched him
He's
grow.
grown. I've seen him from being just a man into a strong, family loving man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And mentally, the older we get, the more he's trying to thoroughly understand me. And I'm a puzzle. He's trying to put the pieces together. And he's like, I'm going to figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
What can I do? Babe, this. And he questions me, asks me questions. He takes his time with me.
He does.
His time. And there are people out there that is willing to be that person for you. You know what I'm saying? And and I want to be that person. I am that person for him, but I want to be able to take time, and I want to learn that part that he does for me so I can do for him. And he's teaching me to do that. You get what I'm saying? And that's where I'm coming from. You teach each other what you want to be done in a relationship. So that part. So I'm going to keep that there. But when it comes down to in the relationship, I do believe in traditional relationships where women, they have their roles. Men, they pay for the household. They pay for everything in the house. And, women take care of the kids. She, has a little side hustle, does what she's going to do. And, the man is in charge. Ooh, I agree when it comes to that house. So, of course, he comes home and we'll have discussions, and I have my strong input. But I would like to. I would like to follow my husband. Yeah, I think that is.
I am so like both my kids are traditional, and I wonder if it's because of me, because I just I don't think. After all my years, and I do love myself, but and I love myself enough to know that I'm not willing to put up with a lot of stuff. You can communicate, and I'm gonna give you all an example. For years, my husband has given me gifts that I didn't like, and I tell him I don't like those gifts because I'm very verbal. I don't like those gifts, so I take them back. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, you're wrong for taking them back, but he's going to see that I'm not using them. So why would I keep a gift that I don't like just because it was a gift to me? So I take them back. Well, one year I said, look, I'm tired of you getting me gifts that I don't like, so I'm going to give you 3 choices. And I gave him 3 distinct choices. There was no room for any what if, or maybe it's this one, maybe that. I told him exactly what I wanted. So I'm expecting when I get back from out of town to get what I asked for. Well, he took my daughter to the store with him, and she said, you know what, Daddy? I think she'll like that. He bought that my daughter suggested that he get. And I gave it to her. Because I had given you 3 choices. And even if you went to the store,
I didn't know about the 3 choices.
But he did.
I didn't know about them.
He did. And that's what I'm saying. I don't like putting up with a lot of unnecessariness, because you're an adult. You can talk and communicate, but if I tell you what I like and I don't like, you should hear that.
I think that's the issue with love languages, right?
Mm-hmm. Everyone's love language is different.
We all know our love language, but the problem is that we'll expect our love language from our partner instead of asking what your love language is, so that I can show you in what you're saying how I can receive that. If I'm a person that loves to give gifts, but I'm constantly expecting gifts, that's not how that works out. If their love language is affirmation and I'm expecting gifts, we gotta meet in the middle. The beautiful part about love is that our whole intention, especially on this planet, is to give love. We mess up when we're expecting things all the time. All you can do is give from a genuine place and hope that the universe gives that back to you. Whatever you believe in sends that back into your life, but you can't go around expecting that.
No expectations.
Looking for someone to love you the same way that you love them is just not fair.
Right.
You'll miss your person expecting someone to love you like you do, and expecting your kind of resolve or understanding from another person, and looking at them like, I just don't get it, because you're looking for yourself and somebody else. That's why what you said about loving yourself first is so important and it's so obvious, but the truth in that is when you love yourself and you give yourself your love language, you're not looking for anybody to give that to you. So they can love you exactly as they do. You know, they're like, this is what I got to give you, and you can appreciate it without being like, so no, you ain't gonna tell me you love me every day. It's like, tell yourself you love yourself every day.
Exactly.
You know, you're looking for someone to spend quality time with you, but you don't like spending time by yourself. You know, all of those things, it's so crucial to your survival. That's why people cannot be out of a relationship. I was a serial monogamist for years. I was in relationships from 15 to like 30 solid.
Wow.
Back to back relationships, right into a marriage. Never been alone. And it was like, I hadn't spent time alone till after my divorce. And it was such a odd place. And then quarantine hit, and it was like, God was like, you're about to be alone. You got to figure this thing out. Like, I couldn't have got divorced during quarantine. I would have lost my mind. You know what I'm saying? It had to be before. It had to be a good amount of time to see what it's like with Brittany by herself first, before he was like, okay, now you have no choice. By the time of quarantine, I never thought I'd be able to be alone for that long and be good. And it was because God was like, you've never experienced this before.
Wow, never been alone.
I've never been alone.
That's
So
amazing.
how do you feel since you experienced it?
You know, I never knew myself. I'd never spent enough time alone. I have an addictive personality. So if I'm around people, I just adapt. If I'm around you long enough, I always say I can understand the mindset of a serial killer, because I can always understand why people do what they do. That's what makes me a good journalist. I'm not objective. It's just like, okay, well, why? Let's talk about it. Let's see where you at. So that's why all of my relationships were with people who were like, go and get in my back pocket, and we gonna go everywhere I go all the time. Brittany's there. I'll start dressing like him, talking like him. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't hold on to my own personality.
That's that essence. You got to be very careful of the essence that you give, because all people are like that. And if you get the wrong essence, you turn into those people. And if they're not good for you, you'll go sour. If they're good for you, then you'll get better. But yeah, you have to be careful.
So now you can't hit me with anything I'm not aware of. Now when someone hits me with something I don't agree with or I don't believe in, I can be like, oh, that doesn't agree with my chemistry.
Exactly.
Versus just kind of like realizing after I don't recognize myself at all what's really going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, you know, it's strange in there because you the one that talk all the time.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm really learning from you all. I've got something from all three of you. You know, my problem is, this is why I don't think I'll ever get married. But my problem is that I'm with you as far as I shouldn't have to tell you how to treat me. I don't have time to tell you how to treat me. I'm busy telling my kids how to treat themselves and stuff. Like I don't have time for that. I have things to do. I'm an adult. I've spent that time alone, a lot of time alone, and so I don't need you all up in my face all the time because I know how to just be alone. And so I learned something right there. I get that's why I don't need anybody in my face all the time now, because I'm so comfortable with myself, but I get uncomfortable when I'm with someone now, and so I guess this is more of just a personal issue. I would love to be able to submit to a man, though. I mean, if there was a man that I saw or that I met that I felt I could submit to and felt safe submitting to, then I would do that in a heartbeat. I'd live on a farm, I'd go garden every day, I'd be cooking and, have your dinner ready, have your breakfast ready in the morning. I'd do that, but I don't see that happening because I feel like I would have to teach a man how to, and I don't have that in me to communicate that. Maybe that's something I need to talk about with my therapist, like I say all the time, because I just don't communicate well. I don't communicate that.
Well, you just put in the atmosphere. You don't see yourself get married, and you don't see yourself submit to no man. So that's what you putting in the universe. That's
I just have a problem with that word, submit. I don't think that women or men should submit. I just think that they should alleviate or get rid of that word. It's
submission and agreeance are two different things.
Yeah, okay, well, agreeance. Yeah.
And I think that word should not even be put in the middle of a relationship. I think it's two individuals who are enjoying each other and who are committed to each other and uplifting each other.
The commitment.
The commitment. So, it's not about a woman. And I think that word submitting is just to give way to a man's ego.
It's just like religion. When it's used against you and used for bad, it takes all of the beauty out of it. When a man is the only person talking about submission, it gets lost in translation. That ain't for you.
It's not.
Why are men always talking about I need a woman to submit? Do you even know what submission looks like?
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Really, what a woman is trying to do is agree with you. Submission and agreeance are a fine line. I just want us to agree, not be forced to be in control.
Yeah, exactly. And why would you want to control me? Like, that means that that's not really a relationship. You just got a slave, maybe the word to use, or someone that you can just tell what to do. That makes no sense. As a man, I would, as a woman, and a man used that word to me, I would be very uneasy to be in a relationship with him because I know what's going to come next.
Well, I would like to hear you guys is watching out there. I want to hear your comments and what you guys think about this.
Yes, let us know. Thank you for joining us for another episode of
Dear Miss Kim.